Welcome, beautiful souls. My name is Jakara, and I am a spiritual healing facilitator. And I am here to share my experience with Mother Ayahuasca. So, I recently had a beautiful experience. My voice is still raspy because I'm still recuperating from the experience. It happened last week. It was from September, I believe, 14th to the 19th, and it was just absolutely powerful. It was the most life changing experience I've had, and I've had um many life changing experiences, but this one was really unique, and I wanted to share my own. So I originally set to record some videos with my phone. I was gonna record in between because they were gonna give us access to our phones in between the sessions. But then I later realized that that was not the best way to do it. And the reason why is because you want to be so present in the moment, and I soon came to understand that the healing is not only with the actual plant medicine, but it's also with being present in community and sharing with others. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the experience from day one and how I prepared, and I'll try to include any clips in here. I'll have to figure out if that's possible or not. If not, then I'll just basically it'll be this video. So day one, it was Friday. Well, first of all, before you even get started with even going to take the medicine, you are prompted to start something that's called a dieta. And the dieta, what it does, it prepares you mentally, physically, and emotionally for and spiritually for receiving this powerful plant medicine. So you start a week before, and basically you're not allowed to have sexual intercourse during that time. You are asked to not have any red meat like pork or any sort of red meat. You're not allowed to have any sort of not necessarily allowed, but you're invited to not to do it for your highest good. To not have any processed foods. To have basically vegetables, a lot of vegetables and fruits and anything that comes from the earth. Like that's really what they're inviting you to do throughout that week. And then you're also invited to, if you use any sort of psychedelic drugs or any sort of other drugs such as cannabis, which I like to call her Mother Mary, you are invited to not take it a couple of days prior. So at least I believe it said like about 3 days or 4 days prior, not to basically not be taking any. And you're also asked to stop any sort of medication or any sort of mind altering substances, which could include drugs or medications, as well as any sort of substances that could change the chemistry of your body. So you're asked to really just kind of come in as pure and as clean as you can, so that way you can really sit with a mother medicine of ayahuasca, and really just receive her medicine fully without any sort of interferences. So you're gonna go through that experience, through that process, and then after that you're basically getting ready, right? So they had a call, a preparation call, a couple days prior, where they kind of let you know what to bring, what things to pack, and things of that nature, what to expect. And one of the things that they said during the call was that, which was kind of scary to be honest with you. They were like, yeah, you may poop yourself. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I just decided, I said, I'm just gonna get some diapers. I don't care. So I went and I got diapers. Never in my life have I ever worn diapers except for when I was a baby. So that was basically something that I wasn't looking forward to, but I knew that I had to prepare for. So I went ahead and I packed. And what I did is I packed, and me and my partner and I did this. So we both did the same thing. We both packed enough for for example, if something did happen during ceremony, for us to be able to change clothes. So we had like our bag where we had all of our clothes, and then we had like a backpack with us where we had like our depends and a change of clothes, like and and like wipes, like cottonelle wipes and things, like just kind of like to clean yourself up, any sort of like Lysol wipes or anything to clean, if you make a mess, like obviously, you want to clean after yourself. So we had that going, and then I think we also had some other things, but I can't. Yeah, we had some wipes, Lysol. We had also like bathroom wipes, and we had also uh like Purell, like type of wipes, like sanitizer, hand sanitizer wipes. So we had that, right? And then we also had our clothing and our depends, and then some extra like plastic bags to, in case something did happen, to put it in the bag and then just kind of keep it there, just away. And then you can bring, they also suggest for you to bring anything that will make your ceremony ceremonial for you. So like maybe you want to bring your own sage, or your own palo santo, or you want to bring your own crystals, or you want to bring they also recommend that you bring your pillows and your own stuff, so that way you feel comfortable, you have that comfort of your own things, and you don't feel like like you're in this like space just going through this really rough time, going through this purging without any sort of comfort. So they do let you know that, or they invite you to bring something that will help you bring some comfort into your space while you're in that journey. So we packed everything. We packed some pillows, blankets, and they provided for us a mattress, an air mattress for us to lie on. It was already covered with a sheet, with a fitted sheet and everything. They even gave us some extra blankets and things of that nature. So they also provided some things, but they also said, please bring your things, so that way you feel comfortable. So we did that, and then we drove. So the ceremony was in sacred grounds. It was beautiful. It was by it was a national forest in Ocala. So it's about 2 hours from here, from Tampa. And I have to say, when we drove through this place, it felt so sacred. Like I just felt the energy of the ancestors of that land, the ones that took care of that land there, just really just, it was just so magical. And then after we got there, we checked in. We men and women were separated into different dorms. It was a campground, so they had like dorms, but I ended up not even sleeping in the dorms ever. So we put our stuff away, and then basically they receive you, and they had some soup. So we had some soup, vegetable soup, and you were able to eat prior, like about 4 hours prior. And then after that, we had this beautiful opening circle where we were all just sharing ourselves, and sharing about our about our intention, and just basically just sharing ourselves, right? And so that. And then later down the road, we then were called to partake in something called rape. So when we were getting ready, we were already placed on our beds, or air beds. Everyone was already settled, and then it was time to start ceremony. So they started with rape. I didn't participate on rape, and I was really surprised, but I was like, I wasn't feeling the call, so I didn't really participate in it. So everyone just took their rape, and then you go through that process of really, really grounding with the sacred medicine of rape. And then after that, then you go into the ceremony with Mama Aya, and that's when the shaman comes in, and he basically, Taita Pedro was our shaman, and he comes from a beautiful generation of abuelos that have been passing this on forward to be able to continue to serve the medicine and heal the world. And he did this beautiful this it almost felt so familiar to me. And I'm from South America, I'm from Venezuela, but it just felt so familiar to me to hear that he had a harmonica, and he was basically just praying over the medicine, the sacred medicine that he was going to serve us. And he had these, like, it almost looked like these little leaves. They were like little leaves, and he was moving them around, and they made a sound. And he was using that alongside with harmonica, as he was basically calling in the mother ayahuasca. And after that, then he calls in people to connect to the medicine. And with that said, we basically um connected to the medicine. And so you take the first cup, and it kind of tasted like, the best way that I can describe it, it tastes like prune juice, were different, like a little sour, like I can't really explain, but it's very sweet, and it has a very interesting earthy flavor. And it's a very small cup that he provided to for each one of us. And so you take the first cup, then you go back to wherever you want. You can either sit outside by the fire. They had a fire, like a fire pit for us, or you can sit inside wherever you wanted to be. And it was at nighttime, so it was beautiful. It was a beautiful night. It was nice, and it wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. It was just perfect. Um, and um, and basically, once what, for example, for me, my own experience, so I'm just going to tell you what happened to me in my own experience. Everyone has their own specific experience, right? So I'm just going to tell you what I experienced in this, in the medicine, right? So once I took the cup, I went back to the bed, and I felt like I am more of a clairsentient and a clairaudient person, more than clairvoyant. Some clairvoyance does show for me, but I am more of a clairsentient clairaudient. So she was connecting to me through my clairaudience. So she was basically letting me know how she was just basically just being in my body, like she was basically scanning my body. And at that moment, I was just kind of waiting. I was just waiting and waiting, and just really connecting to my breath, and connecting to myself. And then suddenly, I want to say like around 25 to 30 minutes later, I started becoming really uncomfortable. Like I was really uncomfortable, and I was connecting to this energy of uncomfort. And I didn't know where it was coming from. There was no memory attached to this feeling, but I was just feeling really uncomfortable. And so then, with that uncomfort, suddenly I was taken back to when I was a kid. And I was taken back to that little girl, to that inner child, of mine, that was really scared, because I had a very traumatic time growing up, where I received a lot of abuse from my mother. She didn't know any better. She was going through so much herself, and she poured a lot of that anger into me. And in turn, what that created for me, it created a lot of fear, and a lot of feeling of unsafety, like not feeling supported, like I felt so alone. So I was taken back to that moment. So I was really in the body, and I was trembling. I was like really trembling, and feeling into that little girl that was really, really scared. And I just felt that I was felt um into this beautiful space where I knew what I was doing, like, because I was very lucid. So I knew what was happening, and at that moment, I hugged myself, and I started telling myself that I loved myself, that I was going to be okay. I started talking to myself as if I was the mother to the child, right? Like I was reparenting myself at that moment, and I was just like, it's okay, I love you, you're going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And at that moment, I realized that I needed a purge. So I just went. They had like these little containers with that had linings, plastic linings on them, your little buckets. And then I just started basically throwing up into the bucket. Hence the reason why I don't have a voice. And well, and other reasons, right? I was singing and dancing too. And but anyway, so after that happened, after I threw up, I then felt the need to go to the restroom. I went to the restroom, and then when I came out, I basically said, okay, well, I don't really feel like being here. Like I was being called to go outside and connect to the earth. And that's the thing about Mama Aya, is like Mama Aya is about the earth. She's earth medicine. She's Pachamama. So she wants you to connect to her. And that's how she heals you, is by you connecting to her at that, with everything that has to do with her. Anything that comes from her, that's where you want to connect to. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I went outside and I put my feet on the, my bare feet on the ground. And I just felt this need to just sit by the fire. And I sat by the fire. And at that moment, I was just basically just speaking to the fire, just praying for my mom, because my mom is going through breast cancer right now. And I just felt like I needed to do a prayer for her and commune with Mama Aya, as I was asking her to, help me, not only heal myself, but also through me heal anything that needed to be released from my mother. So I just was kind of like allowing myself to be that proxy for her. And I was just kind of like just sitting there and just talking to the fire and just praying to the fire and just sending all of the energies and all of the things that were not serving the highest good of my mother, and our relationship and our family in general, just sending all of that into the fire. And then at that moment, I felt like this, I was talking to myself the entire time, but I felt like I was talking to someone. I was talking to grandfather fire. So after that, I went ahead and they called for a second cup. So the shaman called us for a second cup, and they said, always take the second cup, because you need to take the second cup. So I went ahead and I took the second cup, and I came back, and I felt this need to just lie on the ground. Like I just wanted to lie on the ground and be like one with nature. So I just lied completely on the ground, and I was just like just sitting there, just lying there and just looking at the grass. And again, like I said, I'm not as clary uh uh, I'm more clairaudient than clairvoyant. So she was just basically talking to me as I was in the medicine. So she showed me, she was like, do you see the grass? And then I was like, yeah, I see the grass. And she said, you come from me, you come from this. And she said, because of this, this is why I urge you to eat from me, to eat the things, the foods that come from me. Anything that comes from the earth, that's what you want to eat. You want to eat anything else. And I've been in this beautiful journey of embodiment this year, where I've been really working towards releasing the trauma that I've been carrying on my body. But I knew that in order for me to lose weight and lose it forever, I also needed to work on my mental health and all the traumas that I've been carrying throughout the years. So this year has been, even though I thought that I was going to lose a lot of weight, I've been losing weight, but I've been losing weight at the mental level, at the energetic level. Like I don't feel as heavy energetically as I used to before. And I feel like I'm ready to shed the pounds physically. So she was basically teaching me, like, this is how you heal your body, right? Like you heal your body. And I know it sounds so simple, but this sense of understanding of I am from the earth, and that feeling that I am from the earth and I am part of this earth, and this is how I thrive, is by connecting to the beautiful foods that are available to us, that come from the ground, and the animals, and just that's just a beautiful thing, right? And so basically I had that epiphany. And then I was lying around and I was like, yeah, I was feeling so good. And they started to play some, because they had a live musician there. So they were playing some music, and I was feeling the beautiful music, because I love to dance. I've always loved to dance. Like when I was a kid, I always loved music and dance, and I've always been connected to sound. Like that's something that I really connect to. And I was connecting to the sound, and I was like, oh, I want to dance. And then she was telling me dance. And then I started like moving my feet, and pounding them on the ground, and I could feel the energy, the exchange of energy between her and I. And she was saying, this is how you heal by dancing. This is how you heal by dancing. And then I was like, but I can't dance. And at that moment when I said that, it was like I had to purge. So I was like, bleh. So I purged. And then after that, I was like, okay, I felt better right after, right? And then I said, okay, I need to go to the restroom again. So I went, and then after that, I was like so ready to. They were playing music, and I was just dancing and dancing and just dancing and just feeling so good. And that's what I did. I just connected to my body, and I danced with joy, and just really, I was just really in that beautiful energy. That was the first night. After that, after that, basically the ceremony was over and we just had to go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. That's where I wanted to say the caveat of why I didn't record throughout the time I was there. I did not take my phone out. I only took it out once. And the only reason why was because I realized that I had so much more healing to do just by having conversations with other people that were there. And that's what I did. I had conversations with people the entire day that day before ceremony the next day. And I made a mistake, which I want to tell you, don't make this mistake. If you do get sucked into the energy of talking to people, make sure you're drinking water. Because I did not drink water, and that was the second message that I got the second night from Mama Aya was, you got to help me out here, because I was trying to purge and I couldn't purge anything. And I ended up purging the actual medicine. Yeah, so that was not good. So please do drink lots of water. They do tell you to drink water, a lot of water throughout the week of the dieta. Make sure you do that. I didn't do that, and that was a huge mistake of mine. So yeah. So, but going back to the second day. So the second day they serve rapé as well. Again, I didn't take any rapé. I wasn't feeling called to it. And I kept asking Spirit, like, am I supposed to take it? Am I supposed to take it? I got a no or no. I said, okay. I didn't really question it. I said, okay, I'm just going to follow Spirit. So then after that, I basically, we took our first cup, and then I didn't even feel the need to sit on the or lie back on the inside the room that they had us in. Like, it was this hall, and it was open. You could still feel the breeze, but I wanted to be on the ground, like on the actual ground with Pachamama. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna even do this. So I went back and outside, and I basically just sat on the by the fire, and I was just sitting there and just watching and just really feeling into the energy. And at that moment I connected to to my mother, and I started connecting to fears that I've been having throughout, like the fear of my mom passing, also fears around my wedding. I'm getting married this year in November, and I've been dealing with so much, like there's been so many issues with the store that I bought my dress from. My partner is Indian, and we bought our dresses, Indian dresses. We're gonna have a shamanic ceremony, but we're gonna wear the Indian dresses, and we're doing that just to kind of honor each other. And because I'm a bigger girl, they're just they don't really help you, like. And then they're supposed to they had to make the dress out in India, and they've been really bad at communicating with me, and they've been so bad about all that stuff. So all of those fears were kind of coming up, like, what's gonna happen if I don't have a dress, like, I'm gonna, like, what's gonna happen. But it wasn't only about the dress. I felt like it was also about, like, what's gonna happen about me getting married, and, like, the fear of getting married. I come from from being divorced before and being in domestic violence. But then I realized later on that that little child that I was, basically holding space for the first day was really the reason why I was feeling so much fear into getting married again, because I realized that throughout my life, I haven't been protected by my loved ones. And that's what I was feeling. I was feeling the fear of not being protected by my loved ones, which that's not the case. My partner has been so protective of me and so loving, but I just, the fear was kind of taking over that. So that was kind of like on the back of my head, and that was shown to me so clearly. So the message that I got from Mama Aya at that moment was, the future is built in the present. And that was so powerful, because I realized that I was so worried about the future, but the reality is that we're building our future now in the present moment. And the fact that Haresh is actually sitting inside on the other side, like inside that room, like I was outside and then he was inside that hall, also purging and doing his thing, and doing his work. Like, that was such a beautiful thing. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm feeling so touched by this whole thing, because I just feel like this was just such a beautiful thing to realize, to recognize that there's nothing to fear, because I am with a beautiful partner who loves me and appreciates me for who I am. And all of the projections that I've done towards him have basically been just me in my own insecurities and my own fears. So basically I had to sit with those fears, right? The fear of like, like dress not coming through, the fear of like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I marrying into the right person? The fear, like all these fears, right? So then later, I had to purge, and I couldn't purge for the life of me. I could not purge because I didn't have enough water. And so that was the message that Mama Aya gave me as I was purging. She was like, "You gotta help me out here, okay? Like I'm trying to help you, but you're not helping me." I was like, "I'm so sorry." So whatever I purged, I said, "Okay, thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama Aya." And so I did that, and so we took a second cup, and basically I was just still processing all of these fears and all of these things that were happening inside. And then later on I just felt this beautiful energy and went back into the beautiful fire, and there were other people there, and then we were kind of getting out of the medicine and we started sharing with each other, and it was beautiful. So much love and support that we were sharing with each other. And yeah, it was just so intimate, such an intimate heart to heart connection that we were creating with each other. It was so powerful. So that in itself was healing, like giving you faith that you're building this beautiful community also as you're connecting with other people. So that was the second day, and that was nighttime as well. We were done by midnight that night, and they served us food. And yeah, the first day they also served us like breakfast, because we were done by 6 a.m. the first night. The second night we were done by midnight. And the third day, it was actually a day ceremony. So it was a Sunday, and we started at around, I believe it was like 2 or 3, I can't remember. And it went on until 8 p.m. So we were basically in sacred ceremony. The third day was really beautiful, because on like in between the second day and the third day, I was also feeling this sense of like missing my partner. Like I wanted him to come out and sit with Mother Earth, with Pachamama with me. And I told him I miss you, but I knew he was going through his thing, right? Like he was going through his thing, and he was dealing with his own stuff. And oh my goodness, like, but I told him, like, when you feel like it, when you feel ready, please do come out and sit with me. I know that we can't interact, but just sitting with me, like, that's all I want. And on the third day, he did so because he was feeling better. So we were sitting outside. I was sitting outside. I purged again. I purged some energy in regards to my ancestry. I was praying for my ancestry, because we're getting ready to get married, and I was praying for us to have like a clear path for us, and not to carry over all of the crap from our ancestors forward, and project that into each other, into our life, right, into our relationship. So I was just really praying for that outside. There was a beautiful lake, and I was sitting there under a tree, um, in front of this beautiful lake, and I was praying for that. And then I was just there meditating, and then suddenly I just purged. And then as I purged, I was like, oh wow, like, and then they came by, and throughout the time, like when you're purging and everything, there's people just there supporting you, which was so beautiful. So I felt held the entire time, by this beautiful group of people. So then from there, I basically, I meditated. They gave us some fruit. They were passing around some fruit to try to help you like ground and everything. And so I had some of that. That really helped settle my stomach. And then I went back into meditation, and then suddenly Harish came over and he sat by me, to my right hand side, and we're sitting under the tree, and we were just really feeling the energy, and we were already feeling like the medicine was basically just kind of like dwindling down. And that night actually, or that day, they only called for 1 cup for the majority of us. I think some people got second cups, but only the people that Taita Pedro felt like needed a second cup. So I was sitting there just so grateful, right? And um and oh, and then something I forgot to say is that that day, I actually did do rapé, and that was really powerful. It opened my heart, it opened my lungs. I've dealt with asthma my entire life, and one of the things that have been discouraging from working out, that's been discouraging for me, is just like I get like really a lot of asthma, so it's like so annoying. And dancing around after I took the rapé the last day, like I was feeling so much better. Like I was like nothing. Like it was just like it literally just opened my lungs. It was so good. So I said, okay, I'm definitely, and that was not specific rapé. There was like a specific rapé that that was for that was really good for that. That the facilitator Tefa, who's the one that she's the founder and the director of the Pachamama Munai church, who is the one that brings Taita Pedro into the space to do these healings. She was the one that she came by and she asked me before I did the session. She said, "Hey, are you? Where are you? Why haven't you taken rapé?" And I told her that my mom used to smoke cigarettes, and because rapé has tobacco, and I got the download that basically that's the reason why that wasn't supposed to be for me. So she said, "Okay, well, I have this other one that doesn't have that much tobacco, and it has other herbs and other things, and I had menthol in it." And I said, "Okay, fine." So I tried that, and that was just like so powerful. Some people purge with rapé. I didn't purge with rapé. It was very, very gentle and soft, so I was able to really just feel into that. So much so, it's so gentle that I was the last one to take it, and I was given the rapé later, after everyone was given the rapé. And it was so gentle. I was able to take Mama Aya after, and it wasn't like overwhelming or anything. So anyway, so going back to when I was on the going back, fast forward to the moment that I was, after I purged, and I was having my fruit and I was meditating, and Haresh was sitting next to me. We were sitting there, and they were passing around with Kopal. They were passing around with the harmonica and clearing. Tefa was passing around. And then I had my eyes closed, and then suddenly the Taita, Pedro, he came by, and the most beautiful thing he did, because the first day I told him that Haresh and I were going to get married that this year, and we are not supposed to touch or talk to each other, right? And so Haresh and I were not touching or anything, because we're not supposed to do that. So suddenly I feel like somebody holding my hand, and it was Taita Pedro asking me to put my hand and hold Haresh's hand. And so that's what we did, and he literally just blessed us, like I felt how he connected um his heart to my heart. I felt how he was connecting our hearts together. And that was when I received, and I right before that is when I received the message from Mama Aya and Spirit, that I am free. Like I don't have to carry the trauma from family, that we are basically ground zero. And right after I received that message is when Taita Pedro does this. And it was just so beautiful. I felt like my ancestors were there, basically blessing us, blessing our connection. And it was so powerful and so beautiful. And I want to say this. The reason why I wanted to share this specifically, more than anything, is to show you that me as a healer, I'm also doing the work, right? We are all doing the work. Any healer that tells you otherwise, they're not, you want to stay away from them. You want to select healers that are doing the work themselves, that are willing to go the extra mile to do the work so they can hold space for you. Because if I'm not holding space for myself, if I'm not taking the time for myself to care for myself and do the things that I need to do to be able to hold space for you, then I won't be able to really give you everything, the deep medicine that you need. So I go out there to do the work. I work with plant medicine because I know that there's certain things that sometimes it's harder for me to process by myself, and I use them as a tool. Okay, these are sacred tools. Mama Aya is not a tool. It's not a party drug, right? The same thing with the plant medicine of mushrooms and cannabis. They're sacred medicines, and they are going to help you as long as you connect to them from that ceremonial space. Even with cannabis, I remember connecting to it from a ceremonial perspective and using it as a way to connect to myself and get to know myself better, because that's all they do. They're showing you what is it about yourself that needs healing, and they're also helping you at the physical level create that connection energetically, so that way you can release energetically what you need to release. So plant medicines are so sacred. That's one reason why I wanted to share this with you. The other reason why I wanted to share this with you is because if you are somebody who has been considering doing ayahuasca and you're afraid, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid. She is so loving. She wants to receive you and hold you. And yes, there is going to be purging, but at the same time, that purging is for your highest good. You're releasing at the physical level things that you don't need anymore, things that you're no longer no longer serve your highest good, no longer serve your body. So that's another reason why I wanted to share this, because if you are afraid of connecting, I'm telling you, there's nothing to be afraid, nothing to be afraid of. And one thing that I can recommend, if you're somebody who is feeling the fear, but you're still gonna do it, feel the fear, but still do it, but still allow yourself to surrender into the medicine. Don't hold on to the purging. Don't like say, oh, I can't do this. I don't like purging. Don't do that, because there's a specific way that the plant medicine is working, and she wants to work through you in the specific way that she wants. So just allow her to work the way that she wants to work with you, and let that medicine come through. Medicine, think about it, medicine is medicine. Sometimes medicine doesn't taste good, right? Medicine sometimes doesn't feel so good, but it's medicine. It's helping you, it's healing you, and that's the idea. It's for you to sit with yourself and to recognize that all of this that you're going through is really going to pass. And once it passes, you're going to feel 100 times better. And the last reason why I wanted to share this with you is because so those were the main reasons why I wanted to share this. Because I wanted to share the experience and give in a little bit of the experience that I had. But the last reason, which I gained during this weekend after I spoke to Taita and I spoke to Tefa, who the director of Pachamama Munai, I want to share the plant medicine of ayahuasca with everyone, because this is medicine that can help heal so much within you. And if you're struggling with something that you haven't been able to push through at a certain level, I highly recommend that you consider working with plant medicines. Maybe Mama Aya is not calling you, right? Maybe it's the plant medicine of mushrooms. That's also another medicine that you can connect to. And if you have any questions about mushrooms and how to work with them at the ceremonial level, you're more than welcome to connect to me. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to share what I know, what I've learned. But basically, the same way I saw this amazing shaman work with Mama Aya is literally the same way that I've been guided. Like, I wasn't necessarily taught this by a grandmother, but I was guided because it's in my blood. It's in my DNA. I am a healer. And you are a healer too. If you're being called to this medicine, it's because you're a healer. You are the curandero. You are the curandera. You are the healer. So just remember that. Remember that you carry everything that you need inside of you to be able to overcome anything on this world. And sometimes these plant medicines can help you get through that at a very deep DNA, physical, mental, and spiritual level. I also recommend that if you're doing any sort of work with plant medicine, that you also work with a therapist, that you don't just do this on your own, that you work with a therapist. And also, if you want to add a coach, go ahead and add a coach. They had an integration call with a beautiful coach yesterday for us, and it was so powerful to just work with the coach that day. So do go to the integration calls, do go and participate in the integration calls, participate fully, throw yourself into the experience, throw yourself into the entire thing, because that's the only way you can get something out of it. If you're only halfway in, you may not get all of the medicine that you need. So make sure that you go all the way in so that you can really receive all of the medicine and feel 100 times better afterwards. That's all I would say about this experience. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about Mama Aya, or how to pack, or what to do, or what to bring, or what to do for what type of clothing to bring, or anything like that, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to do another video about how to prepare for this type of ceremonial experiences. I am so grateful that you listened to this entire thing. Thank you so much for sharing with me, and spending this time with me, connecting heart to heart with me. If you like this video, please make sure that you click the like button and that you subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel. And also, if you know of someone who could benefit from this video, please do share. Share this video so it could help someone. The idea is to spread the word and to spread the love and to spread the beautiful energy that we have to share with each other. When you help me grow this channel, you're not just helping me. You're helping this entire world, because I am here to help others heal. This is my purpose. This is my full-on purpose. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. So please do share all of my videos. Anything that you see that you feel that resonates with you at a deep level, please do share. And also let me know in the comments, communicate with me, let me know what you want, and I'll be so happy to oblige in whatever it is that you want me to go ahead and do next. So thank you so much for being here. I love you so much, and remember, you are the healer. I love you. Namaste.